All right, welcome in. If you're new here, welcome as always. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about subscribing. And everyone hit the like button, and let's get on with this series. It is called The Silent Sea. It is a Korean sci-fi thriller miniseries, 8 episodes. It was released December 24th, 2021, USA. It originally was released, I couldn't figure which country, I'm assuming South Korea. But it was originally released as a film in 2014 called The Sea of Tranquility. And here's the cast. Welcome back. So, the plot of this is, during a Polaris 24-hour mission on the moon, space explorers try to retrieve samples from an abandoned research facility steeped in classified secrets surrounding a virus. This is labeled as a sci-fi fiction thriller mystery, but I was getting plenty of horror vibes from beginning to end. As well, I literally kept thinking the bodies was going to come alive and turn into zombies. I actually looked to see if the director, what else he's done, and I know I didn't name him, I apologize, but see if he's done other zombies. But there's definitely the captain in here, I don't know his name, I believe he's the dad. I'm almost certain, actually, that he's the dad in the Train to Busan. And I couldn't tell, but I think the little girl was his daughter in that. I could be wrong, but she was really good at this. And the other actors, I noticed right away, some of them, like 3 of them, were from, and I know that the guy from Train to Busan that I was just talking about too, was also one of them. Was from Squid Games, so I had to actually look to see if the director did that too, and he didn't. But yeah, it definitely had some definitely good South Korean horror vibes to it, even though it's not labeled as that. It's a new kind of premise of what causes everything, honestly, and honestly pretty ironic. But it's kind of dumb at the same time when you really think about it. But still a really neat idea. Something somewhat new. In the trailer, you see a guy puking up water. I can tell you that episode gets pretty comical while they try to make it very dramatic and sad. That was the most dramatic part. There's definitely some other scenes in there, but that was the most dramatic. It's ridiculously dramatic. I couldn't but go what the F and shake my head the whole time of that episode. The outer space CGI for the most part was good, but not great, just like the CGI in season 3 or season 4, I believe it was season 3, but I could be wrong, of The Expanse. Which if you haven't seen it, that's a really good show. Definitely the first 2 seasons are a little hard to get into, but because they're connected, like a 1-parter and 2-parter, so it is what it is. But after you get past that, into the second episode, it gets really, really good. But that's not about what this review is about, obviously. In the beginning, it felt like it was a show to a degree, to the Expanse to a degree. Now, for the suits, and I kind of expected something a little more detailed from a Korean space travel series, but still kind of cool looking. Lighting was done perfect, and the coloring lighting in scenes was pretty cool. The set design was pretty standard for a space station, in my opinion, even more so for a space Korean series. I was expecting more detail looking sets. It still is cool, don't get me wrong, same thing with the suits, but I was definitely have my expectations up here more. I will say the effects of them and the objects flying and floating was pretty spot on, with very looking realistic to them. Now the falling scene, and I won't tell you any more specifics than that because this is not a spoiler, but there's a scene in there in an episode that is a bit debatable of how realistic it is, because it's a little bit just like The Expanse. In the first 3 seasons, there's definitely some obvious but good CGI to it, but I've noticed in movies that space is definitely, or at least in shows, it's definitely a little bit hard to get that high top quality, like that. That very, very high budget movie Hollywood type of thing. Like a perfect example would be with the movie with George Clooney and Sandra Bullock, for example. That high top quality where you literally looks like you're in space. Again, looks good, but it's not like that high crisp look. The water effects that were throughout this were definitely very, very good. They were actually definitely in that category of that high budget aspect of Christmas to me, at least in my opinion. That's what it looked like. It looked like it was literally like water flowing. Even the throwing up part, the water that was coming out was very realistic looking, despite it being a Quentin Tarantino type of thing. Instead of blood, it was water. That's how really just weird it was. Like, it was that standard level of ridiculousness of effect. But the water in general, if you take away that, looked crisp, looked really real. To the point that I wonder if they put a hose behind the guy and entered the camera at an angle so it looks like it comes from him. Because they used to, I don't know if they still do that, but they used to do that with puke and stuff. So back in the 90s and stuff. The series was entertaining, but pretty weird. Weird idea. I mean, I know what they were going for a world without water, but still odd nonetheless. Here's my rating for this series. I'm a little torn on what to rate this, but you saw my rating, and that's usually, I shoot this obviously, and then I edit it. So I usually go into editing, and that's when I decide my rating. But yeah, I was a little bit torn on the rating, but you'll see what it is. I'm almost certain what it's going to be. But the acting was pretty good. If you are looking for something to watch, I do suggest this short series, as it having a very weird idea, it's super over the top scene, it's still a very good watch. It's definitely not in my top 5 of great series, and it's definitely, I would say it's in my top 5 of Korean series, mainly because I haven't watched a whole bunch of them, but definitely no Squid Games quality, but it's still good. It's still really good. It's something worth the watch. It's just a quick series. It's no season 2 or anything, far as I could tell. But that could always change. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of South Korean drama series, or series in general, sci-fi series, compared to, say, Japan or Bollywood or something like that, or even American Hollywood. I think when it comes to between a debate between series of American Hollywood and Korean, South Korean TV series, I think they're about equal, depending, but I noticed that more definitely have their own style with South Korean compared to American stuff. So it's more with American stuff. I notice it's kind of more like nostalgia, whereas this is more sci-fi with the South Korea stuff and more action and thriller stuff, from far as I could tell. But yeah, I love you all. Please stay safe, and I will not be putting something out tomorrow. And probably, maybe not Friday, because I have to watch another series. I'm in my series type of wanting to do stuff mood, and these take a little bit of time. So, and I have going to be gone for part of the day, and who knows how that goes. So, on tomorrow on Thursday. So, who knows when I'll be coming back. But I am planning on doing some stuff. So, obviously, and putting out as much as I can, because we are back. So, again, after that little ramble, I love you all. Please stay safe once again, and Skol.